Iko namna gani? Why are you afraid of doing this one? Na hapo ndio tunaongea. Thank you very much for cooperation. God is good and all the time. Yeah, we thank him again. Once again, today is yet another day in our lives which most of us have taken for granted. I hope when you woke up this morning, the first person you spoke to was God. And for me, it was Christ. And he assured me that I'll reach here. And here I am. So my advice to you is to spend some of your life thinking and talking to God. He answers us. My colleague, Principal Secretary Dr. Bello Kipsang, government represented here by the County Commissioner, other colleagues, the leader of this excellent institution, who was Dr. Bello's classmate by coincidence, other colleagues in this sector, fellow teachers. These are abnormal times. And because they are abnormal times, we cannot and shall not do things the way we always do them. I find myself in this position where it requires a little, each and every one of us must go the extra mile. And must go the extra mile because our society is the way it is. And my first area of thought is that just taking over from what the Principal Secretary has said, we are the fortunate of our population. God has placed you in a very vantage position to mold the next generation of teachers. You are the ones who will mold the next generation of teachers. So if you fail to mold them, then you'll have failed the government. And I first of all want to thank you most sincerely from the bottom of my heart for having the courage through your leader, Sol Baraza, to say no. You should not be intimidated by anybody who wants you to commit anything or even to steal from our children. So in order for you to be in control of yourself, first of all, you must believe that there is only one God. Once you believe there is only one God and there is no other one, then you will believe in yourself so that you will have your own personal integrity, yourself, and you will be proud. I'm the principal of this institution, and God has placed me here in order to chaperone the people, both the rich and the poor down there. It's only after that, then you can fight, like Mr. Sol Baraza is doing very well, through you. But if somebody comes to tell you to steal money that is meant for the children, be bold enough to say no. Shetani ashindwe kabisa. So I want to congratulate those of you who have been resisting that and to encourage you to do so. Unfortunately, you are like the blind spot in my journeys because I have not been coming to you. And so this is my first time of engaging, even though I know the schools manned by the people that you have trained. In my visit to those schools, I have found excellent teachers teaching normally. But this time round, His Excellency the President wants us to go an extra mile. I was in Githunguri the other day. I visited 2 schools there, just 2 days ago. And I was asking the head teachers, when you have finished your day, one has 700 kids, the other one has 500. And among them, they are the poorest of the poor. Which of you has taken a little time to go and see how the poor one is living? before you even consider that, oh, there's a policy, go and get 10 shillings. And I was disappointed that none of them has had time to do that. And maybe as you teach them, you must tell them that teaching does not only start and end in the classroom, isn't it? Because I think I have learned more from the field than from my office. And so I have understood the population that I'm supposed to protect. Are we together? Then I want to address this issue of social distancing here. Most of the problems we have now, why we cannot open schools as we originally thought, as COVID is still climbing, is because we can't achieve social distancing. I came here to emphasize to you that it is mandatory that it must be achieved. And how you are sitting is not social distancing. You have failed. Madam Director, is there no bigger hall in this place? This is the biggest hall. So if you removed all the non-necessary people, what is the number of principals? Do we have 87 or 86 today?
It should be an optimum of 86, 85.
So, you know, this is the problem. But you would have even put all these things are not necessary. The room is small. They would have even been you could have managed to shift 2 chairs. The way you are sitting with Odera, that is the correct way. So I hope that you will not go and remember what you have seen here. Because if you go and remember what you have seen here and you implement, and something happens, me, I will have washed my hands. I will come to see a few units, but we can't possibly come to all of them. So you are the one with the key. And I'm saying this because we want to take the risk. I will advise His Excellency the President to take the risk of considering allowing you to open on the 1st. But shall you achieve social distance, which is 1.5 meter, front and back, side by side? Are you able to achieve it? You see, every Kenyan will say yes. And you go to the ground and you find a corner. Point number 2, you all have flowing water. I'm talking about both public and private. Do you all have water that is running water? Running meaning you have big containers. If you want to wash your hands, you open and you wash and the water goes down. It doesn't go to a container. You all have. I can't hear. Yes. The muted one means some don't. So if you don't, then you should not open. Because the children must have many hand washing points. Many. If you have 200 children, you should have at least between 5 and 10 hand washing points. I hope you have good toilets with water. Or if there is no water, you have put the automatic sanitizers, which can just dispense automatically. The children, when they go to the toilet, they come out and sanitize properly. Mnaweza kufanya hiyo? They are cheap.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, it's good to hear. And then this gun that my brother with a cap is shooting people with, you have to have it. Now, the question is, Dr. Kipsang, we must test all the teachers before they go back to class. But it's not there are not many. But if a teacher is COVID positive, so nakaa nyumbani, you don't have 200 children, you get 20, it is not his or her fault. I could be COVID positive as I talk to you now, and I'm as strong as an eagle. When I give it to you, after 2 weeks, you have joined your ancestors. Do you get the point? So I think we agree with you that you arrange to make sure that at least by the time they are opening, they have tested for COVID, at least the previous 2 weeks, so that we don't have a situation where we spread the outbreak for nothing and people die for nothing. Is that reasonable to do? Huh? Now, I am also aware that last year we were running with Bailey and we had planned no admission. We should have trained the trainers by now. So if you open in September and complete the term that you have finished, Bailey, you are the experts. I don't know how they are going to complete the term without teaching practice. But if it is possible, because I think, again, this teaching practice now should have been relevant for the CBC, isn't it? Are you still teaching them the old one so that we will retrain them again? Is it possible to have the hybrid right now?
This last group.
Dr. Njegere, is it possible to have the hybrid as these people are trained, even though they were originally in the old curriculum? You don't let them come out, then train them again. Why don't we ensure that as they are being trained, you train them on CBC issues also at the same time? That is with regards to the primary school teachers, isn't it? Because where the pressure is CBC. Ile ingine is going away. For the diploma ones, I think I will leave it up to the experts to decide what to do. But the key point here, ladies and gentlemen, is that immediately after you complete the exams, we would want to start planning for the training of trainers at that time. COVID or no COVID, if you are able to have to take the class, because there are few, we can train the trainers. So that since the schools will be empty for about 6 months, let us not say we cannot admit. There is no law which is cast in iron that we must admit in May if we are ready in March. Why not? Because I've said these are abnormal times. Are we together? And we shall be admitting now with the new curriculum of CBC. We need this very, very urgently, even though it looks like we might actually lose a year. And unfortunately, CBC cannot be taught. You can't teach 2 classes at the same time. The child must be focused on one thing at a time, because it is child-centered. Child-centered. I am a little worried about the private institutions. But I think you can survive 6 months without, it's only 6 months. And like I have said, if we are able to train the trainers early enough, nothing stops us as a government from considering admitting students earlier, isn't it? Because the students will be there waiting. So there is nothing cast in iron. Because I think the president would not want you, since you seem to be the majority. I hope the quality control there is good enough.
We do the control.
And in them, there is no group like those small private schools, which are very tiny outlets. They are okay.
Yeah, they go through the...
The reason I'm saying this is because I have my private schools, which are like precious talents, producing best results. But when you go to the classroom, it is a mini classroom. Do you get the point? Mini classroom with mini chairs. So right now, when we are going to say 1.5 meter, where there were 20, maybe you will get only 5. I hope that situation is not in the private institutions. And we are going to come round to check. So if you know you can't manage, then don't open. And that is not to point a finger at you. I'm just saying that I have some of the best private schools, and I also have those ones in slums which are like that one. But I've been assured by Dr. Kipsang that I really have nothing to worry about. Now, ladies and gentlemen, as a teacher, I have realized I'm not a conventional teacher, I'm a surgeon. Became a doctor first, became a surgeon, then I started training other surgeons. So I'm a teacher by that. That's why I hold the rank of a professor. But I noticed that as you teach, your students do what you do, not what you say. Have you noticed that? So if you are training somebody to be a surgeon, and after that you go with him to the bar, Kenya men's bar and restaurant, and you stay there until 2 a.m., then tomorrow you are going to operate on his mother. What will he think about you? Tell me, would you be happy to be that you operate on his mother in the morning? You left the bar at 4 o'clock, you go and have a shower, put some shampoo and eat it with marashi, then you go to the nini. When you are looking at what you are doing, you see double. Instead of cutting the wrong one, you cut the other one, and the patient dies. So I have noticed that among our teaching profession. And that's why the president was very intelligent, the decision he made to start CBC has cured us, because CBC has kept the teacher in the class. So if we start by allowing children to understand that it is all right to leave a lesson and then you go out and do other things. Those in my village, I see some in my village, they start by milking cows, then they take the milk to the dairy, then now they go to school. And it is normal. And I'm not pointing a finger at anybody. It is a society problem. But we must change it at this time, isn't it? So it is a pity that perhaps they should have started, if I was there earlier in CBC, would have started with this one. So that they are the ones who are our ambassadors out there, eating and breathing CBC. But it's not too late. So the president is going to actually charge you to do a lot more than we require, and we hope that during this time of COVID, please lead by example. In my life, it is either, I've Christ at the back and the front, so it is either black or white. There is no gray area. Are we together? So if you have offered to lead these institutions, then decide to lead them so well, better than any other person has led an institution before. And since time is the only thing that you can never save in your life, make sure you get your performance targets correct so that you finish ahead of time. Give yourself a higher target, start early, finish early, and when you have finished early, please remember the less fortunate that are under your care. If in your program, one day you carry the teachers you are training to go and visit a poor child in the vicinity, they will then remember to do it when they go out. But if you are the type who dresses well and you are sitting in the office, wewe ni mkubwa, ni sawa, it's okay to be good, to be big. But when you sit in your office, you're actually doing nothing. Do you get the point? You're actually doing nothing and you are not very intelligent. You have to engage with the people out there. So I'm persuading you to try. I have spent a sensible time of my time, almost 30% of my time, moving around. That's why I now understand the system. If I had sat in the office, now you'd have seen me being jailed, because so many things happen under you here. Napiga simu and say, what is it? Oh, everything is all right, sir. Kila kitu iko sawa. You get the point? When you go to the ground, unapata hakuna kitu. So please don't trust anybody, but remember that you are the ones who are training the trainers. So what you train them to do is what they are going to do there. And I'm so happy because Saul Baraza told me some of you wrote to complain about some of my officers who are trying to intimidate them, to extort money from them. And that is the courage that we require in this country today. Nobody is against any person. If God gives you a job, just do it. Because no condition is permanent, isn't it? No condition is permanent. We are just doing our best when we are there. So you have assured me that your institutions are all well. Starting next, if we really are going to open you, perhaps I'll see up to maybe 10 private, 10 public. That will be a good example. I won't announce, you will not see a welcome party like today. I'll come like a thief in the morning and just see how you are prepared. And if we find on the ground that you are not prepared, then we shall pull back, because now it is between you and the opening. Because I was told that you have fewer students and a larger capacity, so you can achieve social distancing, isn't it? And, sanitizers are available through a syndicate. They can be provided for you, so that we allow the children to actually graduate and go, isn't it? In terms of funding, I want to know why you did not clap when the principal was telling you that you will continue to be funded. Okay, if you don't want, we shall not fund you. Because there is enough, the money has so many places to go to. Isn't it? Since it's like they didn't welcome. So I have noted that one. So if there's an now all learners reporting into your institutions must wear face masks. Today is Sunday, therefore I've toned down there are quite a number of you, and it is not by your mistake. You are leaving your nose to be out, even at this moment. Some of them are ladies, I will not point to them. I respect them. When you have a mask and you don't have the metal thing to fix, then keep checking your nose, because the nose is more dangerous than because it is open all the time. The mouth is only open when you are talking. Do you get the point? And when you sneeze, you actually sneeze through the nose. And if you see, if the students see you wearing a mask and the nose is outside, that's what they will do. What? That's what they will do. So as you bring your teachers to carry, I can see my brother there, the nose is out, he's very happy, the nose is out, he's giving corona to the next person. You assume that you have corona and the next person to you also has. Or you assume that the next person has, but you don't. So whoever is next to you is going to give you. Now, if you think the next person is masked, but your nose is open, you can still get. So some of the masks are made such that when you wear them, they slide down. You can tighten them at the back. You get the point? So that, come up here. We are the lady who is looking at you, come and stand here. Your mask is well put. Let me show you. I don't want to use myself. Kuja usimame hapa. Haha. Kana haha hugu. Now, social distance. Simama hapa. Hapo natosa. Mnaona hiyo mask? That is the way the mask is supposed to be. It doesn't have to be beautiful. Although I've seen my sisters are making it a statement of fashion. If you have to make it a statement of fashion, let it still be like this. There's no point in making a very beautiful mask. Lakini ukiongea tu kidogo imesha kuja chini na hata ujui. Are we together? Because you are the ones the children are going to copy. Si anaonekana vile yako mrembo, hata bila amefunga hiyo. Si ndio? Enda kasini. So, like my dearest sister here, you have a problem with your mask. It is a beautiful mask, but it is not functional. Naona hiyo? It's a beautiful mask. It is big enough. I don't know what is the problem. It's big enough. If you go back to your college and your teachers see you like that, they'll think it is okay. So for you really must lead. I want to end up by talking about a leader. You really must lead both from the front and from the back. And in leadership, ladies and gentlemen, as I keep saying, I believe that when God creates you, if you're supposed to be a top leader like you, some of your genes must have leadership, at least 10 or 20 or 30%. So that when you are trained to be a leader, the one that is inborn is also making you be a proper leader. Are we together? And since you are leaders, when you go back to your teachers, you are not going to give orders to them. You want to make a team out of them. Make a team out of them, where you are a team leader, but you are only the first among equal, and you allow all of them space to give you ideas. Then you'll have a fantastic leadership team. And when your students come, you also make them part of the larger team. Because you really have to convince them to understand why they are wearing masks. I see in my floor of value, there's some of my staff who, when they see me, then they take the mask up. I say, what is it? You are not wearing it for me. If you want to wear, if you don't want to wear, just stay at home because I don't want to die from your mask. Many people, he knows, iko hapa chini. When he sees you coming, I don't know whether you have seen some of them, because you are also a very senior authority in your floor. When they see you now, they take it up. Have you seen that? Yeah, so that's why you have to persuade and make them a team, so that everybody understands that this thing kills. And I want to end by talking about COVID, which is still spiking. And the sad news is that we are having higher numbers, and the patients are getting much more sicker than before, and they are dying. It is real, but they are dying. This idea that you think you will not die, who has told you you are not the next one? Did God tell you that you can have and you will not die? Because if more people get COVID at the same time, then there will be more deaths. Who has told you you will not be one of them? And the concept that only old people are dying in this country, is that the case? Is it the case? No, it's not the case. Everybody is at risk. Everybody is at risk. Who would want to die today? I'm looking at the government side here, and the opposition. Hakuna mtu. So if you don't want to die, and you don't want your children to die, then the mask is one of the steps. In the dining hall, I'm told you have large dining halls. You must mark physically. Like here, I want to give you credit, Mama Director. You are tempted to mark, you are misguided, but you are tempted to mark. On the ground, kama wanaenda kula, unaweka hii, kama wanasimama hapa, Njoroge nasimama pande ile. 1.5 meters. Because that's what you have been told will minimize your ability to have the issue, isn't it? What about the boarding situation? Nobody has told me whether they have double decks in these schools or not. But it must be the same. If you have double decks and there are no children, you must make sure that one bed is 1.5 meters away from the other one. If you can't, the student has to stay alone inside. It's not a question of saying, oh, this is now 1 meter, we can manage. Are we together? So I want to wish you all the very best. I will now map your situations. I know that I have not been coming around to look at you, but it's because the children have helped me down. So if you get the privilege of being one of the institutions that are being opened early, NEC, I think NEC is represented here by who? Dr. Njegere, you can double up if they are not here. At NEC, we'll have to readjust and reorganize, work together with them to ensure that the examination process is smooth, and to that effect, I've even allowed the NEC Council to have extra meetings during this period, so that if the exams are going to take place, then the Council is able to adjust and do the needful. All the very best. Always time what you want to do, because it's only what you time that you can measure. If you cannot get a performance target in your life, you wouldn't know what you have done, and you can't measure what you have done. Thank you very much, and God bless.